Hello, my name is Luke Knudsen, and I am here to talk about a game I made in early 2015 called Old Mango Studios The Game. But why am I making this video, you may ask? Well, because the game is bad. Really bad. I mean, sure, my friends liked it, but saying the game is good because of that is like saying the unfiltered episodes of Tanked are good because you're friends with Raymer. Let's be honest here, we're all friends with Raymer, but the unfiltered episodes aren't as good as the normal ones. Anyway, as some of you may already know, a sequel is coming out to Old Mango Studios The Game. Since the release of the first entry, I have gotten so much better at making games and I'm frankly embarrassed by the content of OMS The Game 1. However, the story for the second game will pick up right after the first, and people need to be informed of what's going on before they leap right into the sequel. That's why I'm making this video, to explain the entire story of the first Old Mango Studios The Game, so people do not have to suffer through it just to play the much improved second title. So let's go right into some background. The Old Mango Studios The Game series centers around a family of characters called the Malkoviches. At least in the first game, you only really need to have to remember one, Doilar, there in the bottom center. The game starts with Doilar trapped in a white, purgatory-like area. In front of him is a crazed old woman who offers him little answers to his questions as to what is going on. Later, after waking up and saving the woman from a spoiled milk attack, he learns that her name is Yolanda Crispy Smooth, and that she knows a man named Yosef who should be able to help Doilar understand what's going on. When the two arrive at Yosef's house, he explains that Doilar was beat up by the Russian Guppy Cartel, an evil underground guppy breeding organization bent on building a monopoly on supplying guppies to pet stores all around Illinois. Progressing through the small Illinois neighborhood the pair find themselves in, they come across a boy who calls himself Algonquin and go into his house. While he doesn't offer any insight on Doilar's condition, the guy does join the party to help the cause, and his dad, Jeru, does too. After a bit, Doilar comes across a Russian wrestling cartel in the basement of a house. Since he needs the trophies from both tournaments in the cartel to show that he's strong enough to leave the neighborhood, he defeats all the fighters there. The final person he faces in the ring, his brother, Logan Cups Malkovich, joins the team. After getting out, the party comes across a forest, and Doilar is faced with the most difficult choice in the entire game. Two students, Brenna and William, ask him what he truly thinks of anime. Is it great or is it terrible? Doilar's choice here determines which one of those two people then go on to join his party. From there, he moves north and comes across Fremont Middle School, which has now been desolated and filled only with 6th graders. After taking the candelabra from all 5 6th graders there, the school changes from a simple place of education to the Taborium, a museum for all things related to a small-scale mixtaper named Tabor Alamu. By entering there, Doilar gets the Taborium Pass, allowing him to bypass a guard on the east path of a road he was previously on. And just like that, the players reach the final area of the game, where the story can branch off into one of 3 endings. The first requires you to bring 3 secret items to John Oliver, which in turn brings you to the secret Adam Sandler ending, which I'm not even going to show here. The second is the Old Mango ending, which triggers if the player goes down the east road. This will bring Doilar to the same purgatory he started the game in, but he will eventually come across a skyscraper if he keeps on moving east. Go to the top of the skyscraper and you'll meet David Bernauer and myself, the 2 creators of the game, not including my brother Max, the music composer. Defeat us and the game ends. However, the ending that really matters is the third ending, the true ending. You can trigger this by going south on the final map, which brings you to an upper-class neighborhood. In it, you'll find a very tall, threatening building that houses many bosses, some of which are stronger versions of those found earlier in the game. But once the player reaches the top, Yolanda speaks for the first time since the beginning of the campaign. Through all of her actions, she was luring Doilar to the leader of the Russian Guppy Cartel, a fearsome man named Belushnik, and therefore luring him to a certain demise. It turns out that Belushnik had hired Yolanda to bring Doilar to him so he could take out his prime competition, as Doilar is an excellent guppy breeder. At this point, Yolanda attempts to stop the main character from even reaching Belushnik, but she is pushed aside. After getting defeated, she has a change of heart and tells Doilar to teach Belushnik a lesson. The player walks up to him, listens to a bit of monologuing, and then the battle starts, a clash of titans between the best of guppy breeders. Defeat Belushnik, and you have become the champion guppy breeder of the United States, as he is now out of the picture. The game ends, only to be revisited 30 years later with a sequel, but that's another story. Thanks for watching, and I hope you are as excited for Old Mango Studios The Game 2 as I am.